Time for another CGC unboxing. I've got 5 more books in here. Got some 80s nostalgia, just some other random books that I love. And let's go ahead and get this unboxed and get started. All right, this first book is a little bit of 80s movie nostalgia. I guess it was 80s, maybe it was early 90s, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is from 1990. I didn't even know this comic book existed. But yeah, I saw it available online. It just popped up in a random search. And I'm like, man, I got a bid on that thing. It actually has a little bit of value to it. So I got it for $30. I'm not sure if I over or underpaid. I just don't know much about this book. But I did notice that it was in fairly high grade. When I got it in, I thought it was an 8.5. And, it had some flaws that I could not fix with a clean and a press. So I'm hoping for maybe a 9.4 or 9.6 on this book. I'll probably end up giving it as a gift or selling it. I'm not sure. I try not to keep too many books in my collection. I have like a core 60 books that I like to keep. I don't want to go too crazy with having thousands of books around, right? So I kind of just found my favorite 60 or 70 books. And while I do love to have these books briefly, I want somebody that truly wants this in their core collection to be able to enjoy it, or give it to a family member that just loved this movie, right? So yeah, I'm hoping to get that 9.4 or 9.6. Let's just go ahead and see. Does CGC agree with me? Is this a 9.4? Is it a 9.6? Did we get lucky and get a 9.9? Just kidding. 9.8. Who knows? Okay, that's very, very good. We got the top end of our range, 9.6. Not sure what that's worth. I'm not sure if there was it is newsstand actually. I don't know if there were all newsstands for this book. It's possible. But I don't know that I even noticed that until now. So maybe it has a little bit more value. Maybe it's a little bit rarer, being a newsstand 9.6. But yeah, this book looks very nice. From here, just holding it like this is a 9.8 all day long. But yeah, I can see there's a color break here a little bit. And I'm assuming that's a pretty good pinch right there. That would keep it from getting the 9.8 a lot. But yeah, I don't see anything else on it just looking at it right here. There's a bindery tear on top. Yeah, this is a top end 9.6. If you're looking for a great looking book, that's a good looking, it's a 9.6, but it looks like a 9.8 because even this color break here is hard to see. You have to be looking for it. So yeah, all day long, that is a by the book, not the grade, right? And that looks like a 9.8 any day of the week. So the next one is my brother's actually favorite cover of all time. Maybe one of his favorite books. He doesn't really collect, but he reads. He read all of my comics. So he just always loved this cover. It just stuck out to him for whatever reason. How can you not love this Mike? I think it's Mike Zeck, right? But yeah, just beautiful, beautiful artwork with the reds and the oranges and everything on this book. I featured it before. I like this book. So yeah, this actually was a 9.6 in a slab. And I paid about $100 for it. I thought I got a good deal. I don't know if I overpaid, but I got it in. I'm like, man, this looks like a 9.8. This does not look like a 9.6. Had a couple little bends in it that I could see. I'm like, I can fix those. So why don't we try and go for the 9.8 on this book? I don't know if it makes dollar cents or whatever, but I do want this book in a 9.8. I'm not sure if I have it already, but I definitely want as many copies of it because I think this book is going to be a good investment regardless. People are going to love this book for a long time. Check out this cover. Everybody wants 8, but look at this. This cover is just next level, right? So, okay, so without further ado, let's see if we did get our grade bump or if we're going to just stay at the 9.6, which, it's a gamble. It's perfectly fine. We stayed at the 9.6. This time our gamble didn't pay off, but that's okay. 9.6 is a 9.6. Yeah, I don't see anything on the book, but yeah, once again, the lighting is not as good as you would think it would be in here. But, I'm assuming it was a borderline because I wrote down 9.6 to 9.8. So I thought maybe there was a 50-50 chance of getting the 9.8. And this time our gamble didn't pay off, so it's okay. Did get a more updated slab though. I think the slab that I had before was quite a few years old. So the next one I have, we did a recent unboxing of 5 Spider-Man number 1s. And I was not able to get the 9.8 in the silver edition like I wanted. I got 2 9.6s in that one. So I'm still hoping. I do not have a 9.8 of this book, and I will have a 9.8 if I have to just buy the 9.8 eventually to get it. But I bought several copies and I submitted the 3 nicest ones I had. And they, in my opinion, are all 9.8s. I don't submit books and say 9.8 unless it's a 9.8. But yeah, opinions vary. I'm not perfect. I'm sure there's flaws that I could miss. Whatever. So we'll keep trying though. But let's just see. Maybe we got lucky on this one. I don't have to keep trying. So let's see what CGC thinks about this silver edition of Spider-Man #1. Another 9.6. Man, I'm on the 9.6 train with this book. But it's okay. I'll take a close look at this one and the other two. Maybe we'll pick the best two and crack them and try again. Or maybe we'll just buy more raw copies and go that route. We'll see. And another really cool book that a lot of you will like out there if you're McFarlane fans is the first Todd McFarlane published cover. This book has gained some momentum, quite a bit of value over the last year or two, and but you can still pick this book up relatively cheaply in high grade on eBay. And so, you know, I've already pretty much got all the copies that I need, so you guys can now go buy as many copies as you want of this book that are available. It's not the easiest book to get in ultra high grade, but it's available. I mean, if you just keep looking, there's a couple, 3 every week that I see come up on there at a reasonable price that usually is, you know, the price does not get that high. This one I paid $25 for, and I thought it was a 9.4 when I got it. This book, whatever paper material is on this DC book, is very easy to fix. So I usually don't have any problem getting flaws out of this book. And I've had a lot of good luck with the grades on this book so far. So we'll see. What does CGC think? I think this is a 9.6 to a 9.8 now. But once again, hoping for another 9.8 on this book. We got the 9.8. Now this book has a pretty good fair amount of value in a 9.8. This might be my 3rd or 4th 9.8 that I've gotten. I've been very, very lucky on this book with the grades. And, you know, this is one of my nicer copies because as I am learning how to press, I obviously was working on the lower grade copies first, and I saved the nicer copies for when I had a little bit more experience. So this one is pretty much, there's nothing on, yeah, there's one little tiny, well, actually that's just a lighting thing. There's like a little bit of a bump right here on the spine. It's not really a tick though, so I'm not sure what that is. And there's a slight little color loss right there, but I think that's printing. I don't think that's a defect. And it's just a printer thing. Oh yeah, this is gorgeous. So yeah, going in the PC. Not going to be selling this because I think this is a great investment, and I highly recommend that you, especially if you're a McFarlane fan, pick that book up and get a copy while you still can at a reasonable price. It's just a gut feeling. I'm not a speculator, but I have a gut feeling about a few of these books every once in a while. This one I was lucky enough to get a 9.8 already in. I had several copies, and the first one I got back, which was the lowest grade copy that I had and that I thought, I got the 9.8. So I don't need a 9.8 of this book anymore. So I'm free rolling on this book right here. And so it's nicer than the 9.8 I do have, which should be on camera behind me right here. Place of Pride on the wall. And of course, it's the first true appearance of Gambit. Some people call it the cameo, but it is the first true appearance. He's in several panels. He talks, that kind of thing. By every definition, this is the first appearance of Gambit. And it is a square bound book. It's a double size. So it's a little bit tricky to work on because there's I don't know if there's a glue or whatever. You have to like protect the spine. Maybe I'll do a video on doing square bound books and you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's very tricky, but a lot of people say that this is a very, very hard book to get a 9.8. And they have, but I just happened to get lucky on my first, I guess. So I paid $59 for this one, which I think 40 to 70 was the going rate back then. I saw people buying it for up to 100 raw, maybe even 120, but then I was seeing it go for 35 or 40 sometimes. I got this one right in the middle, like 59, which I thought was still a very good deal because it looked flawless online. But when I got it in, I thought it was a 9.4. But yeah, 9.6 to 9.8 is what I'm expecting on this book. So let's see. Okay, we got the 9.6 this time, which is fine. It's still in that range of what we expected. And I'm still very happy to have this in a 9.6. And I think price-wise, I'm probably doing okay. I'm not making a killing because I didn't get the 9.8. There's such a huge disparity. It's kind of ridiculous between 9.6 and 9.8, as most of you know. It's like your 9.6 will be worth 100 and 9.8 is worth 800. I mean, it makes no sense because they're practically the same thing, right? But that's what people want, that 9.8, right? So yeah, that concludes. That's actually number 5. I thought we had one more. 1, 2. I guess we've already done 5. Wow, time flies when you are having fun, and we are certainly having fun in the nerdiest way possible that we can in my little comic dungeon here, whatever you want to call it, cave. So yeah, another successful submission. I mean, we're not tearing it up and getting all 9.8s. And so yeah, we'll be very happy to get the grades we got. You know, we didn't have any massive fails. We didn't have like one come back a 7.5 and we're like, what the heck's going on? Yeah, it's all in the range. You know, I know grading is subjective. And so yeah, and if you I'm working on a grading tool. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description. It might already be in my standard description. It's free. It's a Google Sheet. You can go there. You can make a copy of the sheet, and then it allows you to eyeball a comic book. I've had several people email me. One just recently, and he was like, "Man, this thing is pretty close to accurate." He was grading some books on eBay. He just took some slabs. I've done the same thing. That's how I actually made the tool. Is I saved like 100 slabs or more from eBay that were already graded, and then I cover the label. You know, I kind of shuffle them up, and then I used my tool to come back about a week later so I wouldn't remember the grades are fresh in my head or whatever, and just random ranges from a 0.5 all the way up to a 9.8. And I ran it through my tool, and I was within 1 grade point on all but maybe 1 or 2. And I have tweaked it since then. But yeah, if I said it was a 5, it would usually be a 4.5 or to a 5.5. If I said it was a 3, it would be like a 2.5 to a 3.5. If I said it was a 9.2, it would be a 9.0 to a 9.4, that kind of thing. It would give you a good range, and which is really valuable when you're trying to buy raw comics online and you're trying to verify a slabbed copy, whether you want to buy the book, not the grade. I'm tired of belaboring the point, and this is not the point of this video. I just want to let you guys know it does exist out there. So once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.